March Madness is picking up steam, but if you don't know why so many people go crazy over college basketball this time of year, Men's Health Magazine Senior Associate Editor Joel Weber is here to break down the big dance. Joel,
Big dance.
How you doing, man?
Good morning.
All right,
Thanks for having me.
you were glued to the TV, 6 o'clock last night.
Selection Sunday.
Watching Greg Gumbel, watching the whole CBS crew go through the whole thing. Did you hear things you liked?
Yeah, actually, it was a really interesting Selection Sunday, they call it. 10-man team decides which of the 65 teams are going to be in this big dance, and we're all sitting on the edge of our couches waiting for that.
This is a phenomenon because across the country, for instance, in Las Vegas, this is much bigger than the Super Bowl.
It's huge.
More people spend more money betting on this than any other event of the year.
The lost productivity out of this is amazing. Some estimates put it at $1.8 billion.
Because people are sitting over their computers, even now, talking about what their brackets are and what their picks are and everything else, because people pay a lot of attention.
CBS Sports actually has this this thing called the boss button. You hit it, and it makes all the sports go away and makes it look like you're working. 2.7 million hits last year on that.
Is that right? The boss button. I should have that for every single day of the year. All right, we've been talking about brackets. Let us show a bracket, and for the uninitiated, help them understand what they're really looking at.
You're looking at a region here, which is 1/4 of the tournament. There's 65 teams overall.
Yeah.
2 teams are going to play off tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for that last slot, the 64th slot.
Sure.
So the way this works is that the high-seeded teams are the better ones, and they're going to play the lower-seeded teams. So 1 versus 16, 2 plays 15.
Right.
This is a single elimination tournament.
Sure.
So once you win, you advance. If you lose, your season ends.
You're out of it altogether.
All done.
Right.
So you start at 64.
Right. And basically what they did then yesterday is they said for the 4 different regions, there are the 4 number 1 seeded teams versus 2 and 3 and everything else.
Yep.
And if it all goes according to the way they think it will go.
Which it never does.
Which it never does. Does it never ever?
It has once where all 4 number 1
seeded teams
get to the finals.
Then they'll end up here and end up in the Final Four in Indianapolis in 3 weeks.
So you start at the big dance.
Yeah.
You get to 32 teams.
Yeah.
And then you get to 16, and that's called the Sweet 16.
Right.
Elite
the Elite Eight.
Final Four.
Final Four. All right. So, very good.
A few things to know as you enter your pool. 45% of workers, by some estimates, do these pools. Number 1 versus number 16. Number 1 always wins. 100% of the time.
100% of the time. All right.
So don't do that. Don't bet on that team. Right. Number 12 versus number 5.
That's always a very controversial and interesting game.
44% of the time, number
12 wins. All right, very good.
8 versus 9. 9 upsets 8 54% of the time.
Oh, so it's a toss-up.
Yeah, so just keep those in mind.
This is just the math. We're not even talking about any of the back research or anything else, right?
So, and this is just straight up based on the history of the tournament.
Okay.
So if a 12 plays a 4 and a 12 beats that 4 seed, that's a David versus a Goliath. If he does that a couple times, he becomes a Cinderella. And every once in a while, you have 1 or 2 of those.
All right, very good, very good.
That's when the low seed beats the high seed.
All right.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about your Final Four picks.
Yes, well, wait a minute. I think I have yours.
Yeah, you got mine.
Those are yours, right?
What did you say?
Joel's picks.
There we go.
And we have Harry's picks.
All right, so I kind of played it a little safe.
Little safe? A little safe.
I've got 2 number 1 seeds and 2 number 2 seeds.
Duh.
And the reason that I did this is that these 2 number 1 seeds, Syracuse and Duke, both got very, very favorable draws.
Yeah, super draws.
Now the 2 real favorites in this whole tournament are Kansas and Kentucky, both of which are very, very good teams, but they got very difficult draws.
All right.
And that's why I like both of those number 2s.
And I'll tell you why these are my Final Four picks, because Northern Iowa, because I went to college in Iowa.
Okay.
And if Northern Iowa, which is a small school, makes it into the tournament, I think they should win.
Yeah.
Butler, because they have a very cool gym.
Okay.
They have the best gym.
You're really just pulling them out at left field, right field, wherever you want.
This is easy. Anybody can do this.
Well, that's what
anybody can do this.
If you pick the Final Four,
easy.
If you pick the Final Four in a pool, you're going to win.
Right.
The odds are on that. So this is a real long shot.
Yeah,
I was going to actually challenge you if you want to put a bet on this.
Right.
If my Final Four makes it there, you should buy me tickets, and I'll go. If yours makes it there, I'll buy you tickets, and you can.
You have to buy me a lot more than that. And Cornell from the Ivy and Robert Morris because they were like 15 seed, right?
Excellent.
There you go. It was really fun. Joel, thank you very, very
much.
Thanks
for having me.
Really appreciate it. And you can watch March Madness exclusively right here on CBS starting this Thursday at noon Eastern Time.